Welcome to the best of sports world.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up first at 6, Shantytown Dilemma. The Attorney General responding to claims of a divide in the AG's office on the Shantytown court matter. No foreign workers. Unions representing BPL not pleased about a government decision to hire foreign workers. Homicide investigation. Detectives continue to probe the country's latest murder.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6. This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC every day.
A strategy being decided by the Attorney General's office on the Shantytown court case. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. The legal team in the Attorney General's office continuing to decide which strategy to take in the legal recourse filed over the demolition of shantytowns here in New Providence. While he could not reveal what that strategy entailed, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Senator Dion Bokar-Bathol told reporters before the weekly cabinet meeting this morning that government is still in discussions with the complainants, and he believes that the matter will be resolved amicably.
The case will now and henceforth be managed and proceeded with by the Office of the Attorney General. The government position will be resolutely and defended as to every single point raised in the application for judicial review, and we will await the guidance of the court. We are not afraid to stand before the seat of justice and to plead our case to the best of our ability on every single point alleged against the government.
Chairman of the Shantytown Task Force Committee, Minister of Labor, Senator the Honorable Dion Fowlkes, says the Shantytown Task Force is quite active in the Family Islands. In fact, he confirmed that a team will be traveling to Abaco this weekend to conduct a survey in a small community there.
We're going to have a meeting in Marsh Harbor on Saturday coming to announce the next phase of what we're doing in Abaco, which is to continue our consultative meetings and also to explore alternate housing arrangements, which is a big challenge in the Marsh Harbor area. We estimate there may be anywhere from 2,000 to 7,000 residents in the Mud and Pigeon Pea, depending on who you listen to. The survey will give us the exact number. Will give us the exact number of the residents in terms of the children, in terms of the adults, in terms of who have legal status, and that will give us an idea of exactly what we are faced with in Abaco.
Also making news first at 6 tonight, President of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union, Paul Maynard, told our news team that he's outraged over the government's alleged decision to hire foreign workers as engineers at Bahamas Power and Light Company's Clifton Pier plant. Maynard told ZNS News through a telephone interview this morning that it's a slap in the face to former employees who were forced to take the severance packages 2 months ago. He's now calling on the government to reconsider this decision.
And you bring the guy in stores and tell my people we got to train them. Listen, man. You see what they're doing is they are tearing this company down that take years and years of blood, sweat, and tears to build. The union ain't gonna allow it to happen. You ain't gonna put Bahamians out of a job. And they could do what they want to me, but I can tell you, as long as I got breath in my body, that ain't happening.
Minister of Labor, Senator the Honorable Dion Fowlkes, told reporters this morning that the matter is being addressed.
I spoke to Mr. Paul Maynard, the president of the union, yesterday, and he expressed his deep concern about some non-Bahamian workers at Clifton, at the Clifton site. As you know, that falls under the Ministry of Works, and I had a discussion with my colleague minister, Mr. Bannister, and he is looking into the matter. Also, Mr. Maynard also spoke to Mr. Bannister. So I do not know what the results are of those investigations.
The Ministry of Education releasing the results of the Bahamas Junior Certificate and the Bahamas General Certificate of Secondary Education National Examinations. Ministry of Education officials acknowledge there are increases in several subjects, including BJC mathematics, which could have been a direct influence on the number of students meeting the requirement for the Bahamas High School diploma. Among the subjects improving in the BJCs were English language, general science, social studies, Spanish, and health science. In the BGCSE, the ministry says the grades continue to range from A to -E, which are better than anticipated. The grades A through C decreased slightly, and the highest percentage of grades awarded continues to be at grade C. And still on news from education, first at 6. The first day of class started off with a bang for students and faculty at the Centerville Primary School yesterday. Principal Shianda Maycock telling ZNS News that there are some 50 new students attending the primary school this year. With the new preschool unit, Principal Maycock says she expects better grades. She's also optimistic that several new initiatives will be the engine to fuel that goal this time around.
We do have some things we're going to try. We have a new literacy person on site, and she is filled with new ideas. In the technology department, we are trying new initiatives, and each teacher is going to have action research. Try something different in your class and see how it works. So we're ready.
Primary parent Janet London and her son Peter, who she says is struggling with a learning disability, spoke with us on the first day of the new school year. She revealed to our news team that after moving from Canada to the Bahamas several months ago and enrolling into the public school system, Peter has improved academically.
I'm excited about seeing all my old friends from last year. And also, I'm excited to see my old teacher.
And what are some of the areas you want to improve on this year?
Reading, writing, and spelling.
Why?
Because I kind of have dyslexia, and dyslexia is an issue in Canada, but here it's not very common.
For testing quite a while ago, and I found since he came here, his teacher really worked with him to find a way to help him recognize different words. So his spelling has dramatically improved, his reading and writing has dramatically improved just since he's been here. So like I said, he's doing exceptionally well.
Well, the first day of the new school year got off to a great start for students and faculty at schools in the Central District of New Providence. Principals of the majority of the schools told Arnold Don Davis that they're projecting more success for the new academic year.
Smartly adorned in their uniforms and backpacks over their shoulders, some of the nearly 600 students with their parents in tow piled onto the campus of the Palmdale Primary School on day one, hoping to get better academic results this new school term. A few parents we spoke to while walking their kids to the classroom talked about their expectations this school year.
He did very well in preschool, and I hope that he keeps that trend and do even better at Palmdale Primary. They have good teachers, good staff, it's a good facility, and it's close to home.
Well, I told him bring home 1 or 2, that's it, top place. He wants to do Spanish, and he's very good at arithmetic, and so we're looking at the other electives. You know, his basic math and English is on par, so his other electives is what I'm going to be looking at.
Principal Phyllis Johnson says she is excited to impart knowledge and wisdom into the minds of the nation's young people.
Excited and ready to receive our students. As you can see, when you look around the campus, it's clean, the classrooms are ready, the children are bright, and they're excited. We're also excited about this academic year because school exists for teaching and learning, and we're definitely going to be focused, we're going to be driven, and we're going to be determined to achieve all of our goals this year.
And even though the more than 300 plus students here at St. Thomas More started school 2 weeks ago, Principal Renee Mortimer gave us an update on the school's plans.
We want to make sure we encompass our parents, more involvement with our PTA. We want to make sure that everyone is working together, teamwork, that's our first character trait, that everyone is working together, that we are participating and we're involving each other, working together. And so we're very excited about that. We want to make sure that we work on our GLAD goals and increase our writing and reading comprehension.
Then we headed over to C.R. Walker Senior High School, and while there we caught up with the wife of the Prime Minister and former educator Patricia Minnis, who encouraged the students to continue to dream big.
As I walked through the crowd, I wanted them to know it's just not words, but we have Bahamians who are at NASA, who are astronauts, and so they can be anything they want to be. I told them that if you have a friend who's not going where you want to go, you have to leave them. You have to move on. And then finally that, you can get wisdom. They have to learn to just pray, ask God for wisdom, which comes with knowledge and understanding.
Overall, the outlook for the new academic year in the Central District of New Providence looks bright. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, LaDawn. Well, still ahead, police in the capital continuing investigations into the country's latest murder. That story and more when First at 6 returns on the next side of the break.
You can't count on me. Just call me and I'll come.
My first memory of music would have been a performance when everyone was singing the song. The song was drop down and come up slow, and everyone in the crowd was singing. I was amazed. I was in shock.
I did not always want to be a performer. I actually wanted to be a doctor. And when I was on my way to med school, I had this whole epiphany, and I went to Berklee College of Music, and that's when I made the switch.
If I weren't singing, I'd be singing. I love track and field.
Many different things inspire me. It isn't anything specific. It's just, just enjoying the environment. And that's what I think music should be about, being free.
Tap of a button, I'm able to get in contact with persons all the way across the world. Technology acts as that bridge that keeps me connected.
BTC in one word, I would have to say clutch.
Connected family.
Family.
Every day,
every day. My name is Dawn Pinder. I work at Great Cliff Chocolate and Cigar Company. I am the inventory manager. I have been a customer of Commonwealth Bank for the past 3 years, March 2015 to be exact. At this time, I have a loan with them. That was the reason why I went to Commonwealth Bank. And I now have my checking account and my savings account with Commonwealth Bank. It was easy, simple. They trusted me. I didn't have any accounts with them, and they gave me the loan. I will recommend Commonwealth Bank to my friends. I have actually recommended it to a few of my co-workers here that have had the exact same experience that I've had at Commonwealth Bank. I would definitely say that Commonwealth Bank is the bank for the Bahamian people.
Genius.
On Tuesdays, get 9 delicious pieces of chicken for just $11.50 plus VAT. KFC, made for moms who know how to solve everything, even though it seems it can't be done.
This portion of the news brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking.
Thanks so much for staying with us. We begin this segment with news from the crime beat. Detectives here in the capital continuing to search for the persons responsible for the country's latest homicide. The early morning incident Tuesday on Plantal Street, that's off East Street, has left a family grieving the loss of a loved one. Loud screams could be heard as officers conducted their initial investigations. Officer in charge of the Central Detective Unit, Chief Superintendent Solomon Cash, told reporters that with no motive, police are appealing to anyone with information on this incident to contact them immediately.
We can only say from our preliminary investigation that the male appeared to be in his early 60s. We are hearing that he may reside in this area. We are hearing that he's of Haitian descent, but of course we cannot say what his nationality is at this time. It's too early in the investigation for us to determine whether or not the motive may have been a robbery, but we can tell you that the body was riddled with a gunshot.
Officers and Marines of the Royal Bahamas Defense Forces, Military Police and Force Protection Department continue to conduct regular maintenance of the Bahamas Veterans Cemetery on Infant View Road. This past Wednesday, Defense Force officers repaired the roof of the alcove, which leads into the graveyard, as they were replaced by worn-out shingles. This is one of the many projects which will take place over the next few weeks as the country prepares to remember World War I and World War II veterans. The Defense Force adopted the Veterans Cemetery in 2017, and the partnership provides for its upkeep through the Defense Forces, Military Police and Force Protection Department. Last year, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, in a joint effort with U.S. Embassy Marine Corps, removed weeds, mowed grass, and painted the entrance to the cemetery. We can also tell you tonight that Member of Parliament for Bain and Grantstown, 23-year-old Travis Robinson, has been selected as a nominee for the One Young Politician of the Year award. One Young World was founded in 2009 and is a United Kingdom-based charity that gathers together the brightest young leaders from around the world. empowering them to make lasting connections to create positive change. The 2018 One Young World Summit will take place in The Hague, the Netherlands, from October 17th through the 20th. And Baha Mar maintaining its commitment to environmental conservation by hiring Stacy Spurlock as its chief flamingo officer. She will manage the resort's Caribbean flamingos. Baha Mar officials say the introduction of the chief flamingo officer and arrival of those flamingos offers the resort the unique opportunity to connect guests through nature, through increased public awareness and appreciation for native Bahamian species and preservation. Well, that does it for National News First at 6. Stay with us. Jonathan Benson is next with sports.
That portion of the news was brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, the leader in personal banking services.
Today is a day for fun. Today is a day for family. So why should yesterday's worries affect my today? That's why I insure my family with J.S. Johnson, because their mission is to provide us with the best insurance coverage possible. With J.S. Johnson, I know my family comes first, so I take comfort in knowing that they always have us covered, providing us with a great today and an even better tomorrow.
J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
Debit card, you can be in the know right now. Turn on notifications for your Visa card from CIBC First Caribbean, and you will know every time your card is used. CIBC First Caribbean, banking that fits your life.
At Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center, we provide imaging services to meet all your family's needs. Same goes for imaging at Grosvenor. We're the imaging experts. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiology specialist can consult your doctor and conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Results are ready within 24 hours. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
You can count on me. Just call me and I'll come running. No matter the
I got into comedy from the day I was born, and I look up and I saw who my parents was. I know my life is gonna be interesting.
The Bahamian people inspire me, like 100%.
I think the keys of the success to the band Visage has been the ability to stay relevant for the many years that the band has been around.
Technology, it keeps me connected. What technology have done for me is priceless.
I don't know how I would be able to survive without it.
If I would describe BTC into one word, I would say innovative.
Family all around. Communications lifeblood of the Bahamas.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to Sports with everybody. Believe it or not, the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo, Japan, they're just around the corner. And Cynthia Ramming, she's looking to make history as the first Bahamian to qualify in the sport of judo.
I'm like 4 points away right now. Yeah, so that's maybe like less than one competition. So I have until May 25th of 2020 to qualify, and it's done off a point system, so I have to make sure to go to enough competitions to beat the people in my area.
And Ramming went on to explain exactly what she has to do to obtain those points.
You have to go to specifically Olympic qualifying events. IJF is the title, I guess. There's Opens, which is the lowest. Then there's Grand Prix, Grand Slams, World Championships, and then Masters. And all these have different point systems, so because they're harder competitions to win. So when you get points, the way that you could qualify for the Olympics is either being in the top 18 or you be in the top 10 of your region. And we're in the PJC, which is like pretty much all the western side of the world. So as long as I'm in the top 10, right now I'm 11, so very close, but I'm not there yet.
Vincent Strawn is still the president of the Amateur Boxing Federation of the Bahamas. If you remember, back in April, they had elections, but they were declared null and void by AIBA, which is the world governing body for boxing. Now, elections were held again over the weekend with an AIBA official in town, and Strawn beat out Ikena Johnson by a final of 5-2.
Praised us and talked about how calm everybody was, and now everybody was so friendly with each other during the election. Because he's saying this is a country that usually don't happen. People coming mad. But we were quite friendly. Each speaker was given 5 to 10 minutes to present themselves, each candidate, and that's what they did. So it was great.
From the minor league baseball diamond yesterday, Chavez Young going 1 for 5, an RBI and a run scored. Also stole his 44th base in the season, and Lansing's 3-2 loss to Todd Isaacs and Lake County. Todd going 0 for 4 in that loss. Now Young and Lansing, they are headed to the playoffs starting tomorrow against Bowling Green. Todd and Lake County, despite ending the season on a 5-game win streak, they are done for the season. Christian Robinson going 0 for 2 yesterday, an RBI and a run scored for Missoula. They beat Helena 4-0. As for Chavez Fernandez, he allowed just 2 hits, struck out 2, allowed 1 run in Connecticut's 5-4 loss to Lowell. Well, it may sound like a scorched record, but the Province Softball Association's best-of-5 first-round playoffs rained out again last night. They try and get play in again tonight. In ladies play, the Sunshine Ottawa Wildcats and BTC tied 1 game apiece. As for the men, it's win or go home for the BTC Warriors. They trailed 2-0 to the Commando Security Truckers. The University of the Bahamas Mingo is looking forward to a banner 2018-2019 calendar. Athletic Director Kim Roll has high hopes after the program showed great strides last season.
I think we had a pretty solid year. Some of the highlights you heard already from some of the coaches. Obviously, Ken setting a new national record and also winning the gold medal at the Penn's Relay was a huge deal for us. We also had 3 of our track athletes who made senior national teams this summer. Obviously, the men's soccer team going undefeated, first team at University of Bahamas to do it. So I told Coach the only way to top it is to repeat it. And so we expect them to do that this year. Men's basketball was 1 step away from the championship. We're looking for them to take that big step to move forward. We expect continued growth from our women's volleyball program. I remember, and I don't say this to embarrass them, but 2 years ago, we won a set, not a game, a set. And so when we look at where they've come from that to where they are now, and then this year, we want to just constantly see consistent improvement in that regard.
That is your first look at sports. Don't go anywhere. First at 6 is back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
ZNS is everywhere you are when you download the new ZNS app. Watch our live channel to keep up with what's going on in the nation. News updates, we've got you covered. Tune into our radio stations with just a swipe. On the road, on the go, we're here with you. Available for download on the App Store and the Google Play Store.
Now you can watch the ZNS network of channels absolutely free. That's right, ZNS is now broadcasting 3 separate channels, free to air on Channel 13. One channel has the regular ZNS TV HD programming. One is the Parliamentary channel, and one is the 24/7 television community page. These channels may be accessed simply by attaching either a rabbit ears antenna or an indoor amplified antenna to the RF input connector on the back of your digital television or flat screen TV. Once the antenna is connected, select TV mode and choose Auto Scan, and your TV will automatically pick up Channel 13 at no charge. Once you're on Channel 13, just use the channel selector to go to each of the 3 ZNS free channels. Antennas are available on many sites online. Free TV, ZNS brings it back to you.
What you see and hear on this television station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation. The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The Code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcast by this station. The Code is available on the IRCA website at www.ircabahamas.bs. To receive a copy of the Code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 1-242-300-8722. Or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
The Public Hospitals Authority wishes to advise members of the public of the following criteria in the event a hurricane watch or warning is issued. Only essential emergency and inpatient services will be maintained at public hospitals. Expect possible rescheduling of non-emergency surgical procedures. Pay attention to all public announcements regarding the termination of visiting hours and outpatient services and the resumption of visiting hours and outpatient services after the all clear has been given. In the event of a medical emergency during the hurricane, call 919 to report your emergency. Secure all medical cards and other important health information documents for easy retrieval in the event of an emergency. Ensure that adequate supplies of prescription medications are on hand or the equivalent of a full week's supply. Be prepared this hurricane season. Protect yourself and your family. This message is brought to you by the Public Hospitals Authority and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
The Saffir-Simpson Hurricane Wind Scale was developed in 1971 by civil engineer Herbert Saffir and meteorologist Robert Simpson, who was the director of the U.S. National Hurricane Center. It was introduced to the public in 1973 and began to be widely used a year later. Inspired by the Richter scale that measures earthquakes, the Saffir-Simpson scale was divided into 5 categories. Originally, the Saffir-Simpson scale also included predicted barometric pressures associated with the various wind speeds, as well as the relative kinds of damage that could be anticipated. However, because those predictions were found to be very inaccurate, just a few years ago, the warning system was changed to include only the wind speeds, which were also adjusted upwards in the higher categories. A Category 1 hurricane has wind speeds between 74 and 95 miles per hour. A Category 2, 96 to 110 miles per hour. A Cat 3, 111 to 129 miles per hour. A Cat 4, 130 to 156 miles per hour, and a Category 5 hurricane will have winds from 157 miles per hour and up. This public service announcement has been brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas in conjunction with the National Emergency Agency.
Time now for weather.
In our first look at weather, we have Hurricane Florence out there in the far eastern Atlantic. It's now packing winds of about 85 miles per hour, moving toward the west-northwest at about 12 miles per hour, and it's taking aim for Bermuda, and there's absolutely no threat to the Bahamas. And then in the Gulf of Mexico, there is Tropical Storm Gordon, which is just slightly below hurricane intensity and about 90 miles to the south of Mobile, Alabama, moving toward the northwest at about 15 miles per hour. We expect this tropical storm to move inland somewhere between New Orleans and Alabama later on tonight. The main feature of this system is going to be some heavy rains over the next several hours as it moves inland. And then on our satellite picture, we see 1 or 2 little feeder band just over the western Bahamas, mainly around Bimini, so they could get 1 or 2 pop-up showers later on tonight as well. Elsewhere, near clear skies throughout the northwest and central parts of the country. Outside of our studios, we have partly sunny skies, temperature 86 degrees, the relative humidity humidity 65%, east-southeast winds at 14 miles per hour, your barometric pressure 1,017.0 millibars. That is 29.99 inches, and it is steady. That's going to do it for your first look at weather. Stay tuned, more weather is still to come.
Thanks so much, Basil. That does it for First at 6. It's time now for a check on stories making news around the Northern Bahamas.
The Grand Bahama Christian Council weighing in on that tragic traffic accident this past weekend. Urban Renewal hosting a back-to-school bash in grand style. And the Grand Bahama Taxi Union elections just hours away.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Wolf-Arkeson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping the news tonight, the Grand Bahama Christian Council is expressing deep regret at the tragic loss of 2 Jack Hayward High School students who died following a traffic accident on Sunday. The leader of the clergy is admonishing young people to see this unfortunate incident as a wake-up call to take life seriously. Megan Shepard reports.
President of the Grand Bahama Christian Council, Reverend Dr. Robert Lockhart, extending condolences to the families of 17-year-old Franklin Cooper and 17-year-old Perez Hepburn, the 2 young men who were tragically electrocuted this weekend as they attempted to exit a vehicle that was involved in a car crash.
Especially the mother and father of both young men, siblings, sisters and brothers. I could only imagine. I don't think I know how they feel. I only can imagine how they must feel, and I want them to know that we're praying for them. There are churches and pastors all over this community that's praying for them, that God would strengthen them and that they'll find strength from the people that's around them. And so we want them to know that we're praying for them. And I think the whole island feels the impact.
Lockhart notes that both young men had a promising future as they were set to enter their senior year at Jack Hayward High School this past Monday. One was to be a prefect and the other deputy head boy. As their friends continue to come to grips with this loss, Dr. Lockhart is encouraging them to be strong.
The impact on you is tremendous because you never expect it to happen. As a young person, you don't think about death, you think about life. And so I would say to young persons, this is your time to realize that, hey, I'm going to take advantage of every moment that I have, take advantage of every opportunity. I'm going to love life. I'm going to live it to the best of my ability. Time should not be wasted because time is so important. But to also realize that we got to look out for one another. We got to be there for one another. Life is precious. And so let's value the people that we love and the people that love us, and let's value life, and let's take care of each other.
Now, Dr. Lockhart is reminding young people and older persons as well that when they are traversing the streets, they have to remember to drive with due care and attention. He also notes that young people may sometimes feel that time is on their side and that now is the time to live in the moment and make their mistakes. However, he is admonishing young people to use this tragedy as a time of reflection and to understand that now is the time to make the most out of life.
Even though you're 17, 16, 18, of course the assumption is I have a lot of years ahead of me to do whatever. And sometimes we can think that, hey, I have time to make mistakes. I have time to slack off. But I think what it tells us is that we need to maximize the moment, in whether we're in high school or in college. Maximize the moment, use your talents, use your gifting, have the greatest impact that you can have. That whether life is long or short, you would have used it to impact someone.
Dr. Lockhart says he is extending condolences to both families on behalf of the entire Grand Bahama Christian Council. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Now, police say the 2 high school students were in a Jeep with 4 others when the vehicle crashed into a utility pole. The pole split in two, and live wires then fell on a chain link fence. When exiting the vehicle, the young men apparently touched the fence and came in contact with live wires. Both of them were electrocuted and died at the scene. Tonight, Atalia Hall tells us what to do if we are faced with a similar situation.
Hundreds of accidents happen across the northern Bahamas, but are you sure as to what to do if you get into a car accident and hit an electricity pole? Have you thought about your escape plan? Knowing what to do can make a difference between life and death. Experts say if you run into an electricity pole, it's always best to stay in your car. If a wire has fallen, your vehicle is the safest place for you to be. The vehicle acts as a path for the electrical current to travel through to reach the ground. If you're in the vehicle, you're safe, but if you get out, you can be electrocuted. You should only attempt to leave your vehicle if it is on fire. Get out with your feet together and then hop away from the car. Do not touch the car and the ground at the same time. You should never assume that a power line is dead. Electrical current does not always turn off when a power line is down, even if it shows no signs of life like smoking, buzzing, or popping. Also, you should warn others to stay away from the vehicle as they can be injured. But a very important tip is that you should always call 911 and then your local power company so that they can help. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Atalia Hall.
In other news, students in East Grand Bahama are back in the classrooms and appear to be excited about this new school year. But as Jay Philippe tells us, one of the 3 institutions will not be opened until next week.
Today is officially the second day of school for the 2018-2019 academic calendar year. We visited some schools in the Eastern District of Grand Bahama just to check on the progress of day 2. Our first stop took us to East End Junior High, where the school was established just 6 years ago in 2012.
Our expectations for this school year, the 2018-2019 school year, is for us to achieve a 100% passing rate. This year, June, the 2018 sitting of the exams, the 9th graders achieved a 100% passing rate. The 8th graders, however, did not reach 100%, but next year our overall goal is for the entire school, the 8th and 9th graders, to achieve a 100% passing rate.
Over at High Rock Primary, Principal Dorothy Lewis outlining her expectations for the new school year.
To increase our literacy rate in terms of reading comprehension, sight words, and making sure that children are reading at grade level or above grade level. As a matter of fact, right now, more than 85% of the children are reading, 90% of the children are reading above grade level at this point. And so we want to increase that. By June, we want all children to be reading at or above grade level.
She also focused on the Ministry of Education's overall goal and the goals of the institution itself.
I'm excited about our WIG, our widely important goal, and the Ministry of Education's widely important WIG goal, which is to increase the graduation rate from 50 to 85%. We also want to increase our rate, which is our GLAT and our literacy.
Our final stop took us to East End Primary, located in Freetown, Grand Bahama, where preparations are still in its final stages for official opening.
Our theme for this year is Play, Learn, Grow Together. So we're expecting great things here at East End Preschool. We're excited. We're anticipating our students coming. This week the students are not here fully. They're coming in on a scheduled basis to do testing, and then Monday is our day when we open up and have our National Assembly, and we let the minister from the community come and pray for our children.
Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Jay Philippe.
Thanks, Jay. Well, this year, the Urban Renewal team stepped up its back-to-school drive. Students from throughout the various communities gathered at the Seahorse location to hear some valuable words of advice from 2 ministers, as well as receive some vital tools in preparation for returning to school. Scores of kids attending the Urban Renewal Back to School Fun Day and Giveaway. This year, the bash was held in grand style as students were eligible for giveaways hosted by the Minister of Social Services and Urban Development, as well as the Minister of Finance and Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama, K. Peter Turnquest. The giveaways also included tablets, vouchers for textbooks, hairstylists, as well as barbers, in addition to the distribution of over 150 backpacks with school supplies. Minister of Social Services and Urban Development Frankie Campbell promised students that the government is doing everything in its power to ensure that students succeed as they head back to the classrooms.
This year, we decided that we would also set aside some funds to give some vouchers towards textbooks. It's not sufficient to have writing books and pencils and then not be able to do the homework at the end of the day. But we decided to take it even further, DPM, with your monies. Thank you. We also spent some monies compiling past BJC, BGCSE, and GLAT papers to make sure that our students would have the benefit of looking at previous questions to have an appreciation for what the questions look like and be better able to get good grades when they take those exams. We took it a bit further. This one didn't cost so much, DPM. We entered into a conversation with the University of the Bahamas, who was responsible for training our teachers, to have those trainee teachers come into the urban centers and be a part of our after-school homework program, which will bring some structure to the program, the homework, which will better enable our kids to get good grades in these BGCSE, BJCs, and GLAD exams.
Minister of Finance, the Honorable K. Peter Turnquest, encouraging students to put their best foot forward.
What happened last year has happened. You can't change it. If you got good grades, you have set a standard that everybody else will be following. It is incumbent upon you to make sure you keep the standard, because you're not only representing your family and yourself, but you're representing your school, and you're representing Grand Bahama, and you're representing East Grand Bahama. And we want to be the best. We are the best, right? Those of you who may not have done as well as you would have liked to last year, you have to work a little harder, and this is your chance.
The Back to School Bash also included food, drinks, and face painting for the kids. Deputy Director of Urban Renewal, Senator Jasmine Darius, also implored the students to make this year better than the last.
We believe in you. We believe that there's greatness in you. We believe that there's great potential in you. And so we want you to be prepared, and we want you to be ready on day one, and that's why the government is investing in your life. We're investing in your education. And so we know the importance of if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And so we know that you are preparing to succeed. And so I join in with the Minister, Honorable Frankie Campbell, and the Deputy Prime Minister. We wish you well, and we want you to push yourself. We want you to stretch yourself, and we want you to go above and beyond so that this semester will be the best semester that you have ever had.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us. There's more news right after this.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Dolly Madison, Freeport's original home center.
It's time to come on down. Now to the plant nursery at Dolly Madison. They're loaded with indoor and outdoor plants, fruit trees, landscaping plants, flowering plants, herbs, and more at the plant nursery at Dolly Madison. And if you need advice, the friendly, courteous staff at Dolly Madison is there to assist. And don't forget to pick up your soil, fertilizers, and other accessories. Don't wait, come on down. Now.
September is another month for a hurricane. Plan ahead with solar systems and lights. Solar Up Bahamas, giving you free power throughout the Bahamas. Call 727-4237.
Welcome to Jags International. We have Celebration, Valeria, FRS, Bahamas Air, Hotel, car vouchers now on sale.
Girls, I tried book my ticket online with them ferry them. So complicated, they asking for too much.
That's why I stick to Jags. No agency fees or booking fees. Cash and credit, all the same. Blow deals and spectacular services with a smile.
Yes, that's Jags, your one-stop shop to Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, and Miami.
We even offer cheap car rental vouchers to all our thrifty Hertz and VIP service.
Book now with Jags and get their $5 discount card. And don't forget the super sales going on.
Be sure to tune into the ZNS Television Network Sunday, September 9th at 2 p.m. for the rebroadcasting of the farewell service for the Venerable Archdeacon Father Harry Bain. That's this Sunday, September 9th at 2 p.m. only on the ZNS Television Network. Stay informed on your local weather forecast this 2018 hurricane season. Your #1 news station, the ZNS Television Network. We've got you covered. Covering the Northern Bahamas, you're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Tomorrow is Election Day for members of the Grand Bahama Taxi Union. 2 candidates are on the ballot for the top post. As Ramiko Knowles tells us, both men are expecting a smooth process.
Incumbent President David Jones says while there is always room for improvement, he believes he's done an excellent job during his term, in spite of the economical challenges. Jones outlined plans he would like to implement once re-elected as the taxi union president.
First of all, we want to put a monetary value on the taxi franchise. This is happening all over the Bahamas, where a taxi driver can put a value to his franchise and use it as collateral to either upgrade his vehicle or use it for any kind of investment. Also, too, this year we're going to adopt a school. We want to get back in the community to help our reputation again. We're going to give a scholarship fund to one of our members' children.
Harold Curry is going against Jones for the top post. Curry has been a union executive for the past 18 years. He says that he has the ability to make positive adjustments and better the union.
One of the things we need to do is grow our membership, because in numbers, there's power in numbers. So we need to grow our membership. Right now we have about 174 members now, but I'm guarantee you when I get there in about 2-3 months, I'll have that to about 300-400.
Curry believes that it's time taxi drivers became entrepreneurs and not depend so heavily on the cruise ship industry. He says he wants to expand the reach of taxi drivers to travel agencies and other businesses alike. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Ramiko Knowles.
And now to our weekly Generation Y report. He is committed to expanding his horizons. This young educator is looking at another area of interest, and the entire country stands to benefit from its latest undertakings. Here's Atalia Hall.
Ambitious is how 23-year-old Trevor Johnson describes himself. Trevor holds a bachelor's degree in secondary education and has been a science teacher at the 8 Mile Rock High School since the age of 21. Trevor says teaching is his passion and he loves to see young people excel.
For the past 2 years, I've sent 7th graders to sit the Health Science BJC, and both years I received 100% passes, with nearly 50% of both classes receiving A scores. I've produced 2 consecutive Junior Minister of Tourism for Grand Bahama, and this year, for the very first time, a public institution from Grand Bahama placed 2nd in the National Junior Minister of Tourism competition.
But just a few weeks ago, life changed for Trevor as he made a life-changing decision. He was recently accepted into a graduate program at the University of the West Indies in Barbados.
I received a full tuition scholarship from the Caribbean Climate Change Center, so I'm pursuing my Master's of Science degree in Natural Resources and Environmental Management with a focus in climate change. Former President of the United States, Barack Obama, he penned it best when he said that climate change is not something of the past, but it's most definitely a concern of the present and indeed the future.
He says climate change is something that the country should pay attention to, noting that he wants to be one of the Bahamians pushing to ensure that the country is fully prepared for a natural disaster.
In the Bahamas, we don't have to read about climate change in books or have to watch it on the news because we experience it every day. We look along coastal communities, we see sand dunes becoming washed away, we see sea levels rising, and last year, over the past 2 years, we've seen the most aggressive hurricanes of our time. I always describe hurricanes as monsters, and these monsters are no longer sleeping at our feet, but they are buying tirelessly for entry in our country, and so far they're successful. Yes, we may not be able to stop the impacts of these hurricanes, however, we must ensure that our people are educated.
The program will take a total of 16 months, and overall, Trevor says he's looking forward to the new challenge.
I describe myself as a 23-year-old barefoot boy from Holmes Rock. My parents' name nor my family's name did not unlock any doors for me. But it was through hard work, persistence, and dedication. And if I could do it, it just speaks volumes to the fact that anyone in the country, anyone in the Bahamas, could be afforded the same opportunity. But it's only possible through commitment, dedication, and persistence.
The Sigmas must be proud, and now it is time to ask the doctor.
This is Ask the Doctor. Welcome. MB from New Providence asked, I am extremely overweight, and in recent years, it has begun to really affect me. I've tried everything, and I can't get this weight off. How can I make a real change in 2017? MB, thank you for your honesty. Many people take the opportunity at the beginning of a new year to focus on becoming healthier. Obesity is a complex condition characterized by excessive body fat. The only way to successfully overcome obesity and achieve and maintain a healthy body weight is to make real changes in how we live our lives. While there may be many contributing factors, like family history, hormone imbalance, or rare medical conditions, most people gain weight as a result of some combination of unhealthy eating habits and a lack of sufficient physical activity. Making small changes and being consistent over time can make a big difference. Changes like visiting a doctor or your community clinic for an annual full physical exam, taking a half-an-hour walk at least 5 days a week, drinking more water throughout the day, and avoiding fast foods and sugary drinks like sodas can help you reduce your body weight over time. If you have other questions about weight loss and living healthy, please email askdrbahamas@gmail.com. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Stay with us. A Check on Sports is up next with Rumiko Knowles.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Mo Davis Beauty Zone. Be beautiful, be you. Located at #1 Britannia Mini Mall, Caravelle Beach.
It's back to school and back to school savings at Bellevue Business Depot. For all of your back to school and teacher supplies, they have it all at an extra 20% off retail price. Crayons, glue, markers, crayon pencils, backpack, character bags, meat notebooks, and teacher supplies for the classroom, and much, much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the backpack bundles for preschool, primary school, and high school, loaded with all the supplies you need for back to school. Teachers get your first 8-foot Butcher Fadeless paper free when you purchase a minimum of 10 feet, as well as additional discounts at the Coffee Center. All at Bellevue Business Depot, located on Queens Highway.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
Good evening all, welcome to sports. I'm Rumiko Knowles. Topping sports this evening, the Grand Bahama Secondary Schools Athletic Association meeting at St. George's to discuss the sporting agenda for the 2018-2019 school year. Physical education teachers say they're excited. Bishop Michael Eldon is a school known for academics as well as athletics. Physical education teacher Cherish Hollingsworth says that she's excited about the student athletes excelling in all areas.
I think this year is going to be an exciting year for Bishop Michael Eldon. I think that we are still in the middle of transition, but it's a progressive transition that is turning out to have a lot of really positive effects just across the board. And I think that athletics is just going to be another area where we begin to see smaller improvements so that we can really get back to the school that we once were.
Pamela Lewis of Jack Haywood Junior High Stars says her student athletes are ready to compete in the upcoming softball and volleyball tournaments.
Because I teach junior high school, they're coming from primary school. So like volleyball, they really haven't taught volleyball in primary school. So that's a new sport that they have to learn as soon as they get there.
Coach Stephon Forbes has been a physical education teacher at the Grand Bahama Academy for the past 4 years. He says that he tries to keep his students involved in all sporting disciplines.
The thing that I'm most excited about is track and field. All right? We have different sports that normally take place during the different quarters of the year, and we try our best to get our students involved into such things as volleyball and softball. But we normally play basketball. And so we try our best every year to make sure that they get the opportunity to play volleyball and softball as well.
A well-known sportsman on Grand Bahama, Coach Oren McPhee of Mary Star of the Sea Catholic Academy, says he's always excited about athletics.
This is going to be a competitive year. I believe the plan that we have in place may begin to do some things and bring us from out the bottom bowl. So we're fighting hard this year. We're expecting a lot of good things this year. We have a lot of new students that I believe have some capabilities, and so it's going to be a competitive year this year.
The first sporting activity on the calendar for the 2018-2019 school year is volleyball, and we'll see each school in action on the courts. The Ruby Walkers on the links in rainy conditions. Fenton Skillett Russell posting a 40. Greg Bow one shot back with a 41. Hanford Bain and Mark Knowles both turned in a 42. Heading into Friday's showdown, Hanford Bain leads the tour with 59 points, Skillett Russell 53, Emalcus Hill with 39 points, Marcus Knowles 26, and Greg Bow 25 points. On the birdie board, Skillett Russell leads with 24 birdies, Mark Knowles 15, Perry Cooper and Hanford Bain both with 11. The CAGC Floorball Golf Championship qualifier will be played September 8th and 9th at the Albany Golf Courses. It's gross play for the mid-amateur 35 and over. The senior division is 50 and over, and the super seniors 60 and over. The registration deadline is this Thursday, September 6th. The winners will represent the Bahamas October 26th to the 30th at the PGA Nation, Palm Beach, Florida. And that's your check on sports. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Until next time, make it a great one.
More Makeup by Megan Coakley. When you want to look like a star. Phone 443-7979.
You can win big with Pizza Hut's Big Dinner Box Summer Deal. Not only will you get 2 delicious medium one-topping pizzas, 5 breadsticks, and juicy wings, and a refreshing 2-liter Coke, you get to enter to win a fabulous 7-day Caribbean cruise for 2 with Gateway Travel on Carnival Cruise Lines.
Mom and Dad used it, and we got money.
Pizza Hut's Big Dinner Box Summer Deal can make you a winner. Other prizes also available. Win big.
Tired of the endless bank fees and long lines? The Grand Bahama Cooperative Credit Union is the solution to making your money work for you by providing you with free financial counseling, higher interest on savings plans, and lower interest rates on loans. Savings products such as Christmas and Vacation Club, fixed deposits, and annuity savings allow our members to prepare for today and tomorrow without all of the hassle. Join satisfied Bahamians who left their banking frustrations behind. Open an account with GBCCU 352-4139.
When a hurricane watch or warning is issued, medical emergency services are placed on high alert. For many persons seeking medical care, defining what an emergency is can be difficult to assess given all that is occurring during the storm. The following basic guidelines are designed to help you assess your emergency. If you are experiencing symptoms like shortness of breath, chest pain, severe pain, disorientation, extreme vomiting or diarrhea, vision disturbance or suicidal thoughts, you should seek immediate medical assistance. If you are bleeding significantly or otherwise severely injured, seek emergency assistance immediately. Children presenting with symptoms like high fever and extremely listless or lethargic behavior need to be taken to the emergency room immediately. If you are unsure of the extent of your condition, you are advised to seek medical assistance immediately. Share your symptoms with the on-call doctor and get advice as to whether or not it can wait until normal business hours. Remember, emergency care is not a convenient option for basic medical care during a storm. The Public Hospitals Authority encourages members of the public to use these basic guidelines to help decide on whether something is an emergency or not. The authority reminds the public that in the case of an emergency, always call 919 or head immediately to the emergency room. This message has been brought to you by the Public Hospitals Authority and the National Emergency Management Agency.
And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS News team, I'm Shoshana Wolf-Parkinson. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Legal dilemma. The Attorney General clarifying claims of a divide on the Shantytown court case. Dock concerns. Rumpke residents concerned about the state of the dock on that island. And murder probe. Detectives continuing to investigate the country's latest murder here in New Providence. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts right now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for making us a part of your Tuesday. A difference of opinion has led to the Attorney General's office's legal team now proceeding with the matter involving the Shantytown demolition. A team of experts had been retained. However, there were differing views. Today, the Attorney General and the chairman of the Shantytown Task Force gave us an update on the matter. LaDon Davis leads us off tonight.
Attorney General Senator the Honorable Carl Bethel confirming to reporters outside of Cabinet the way forward for the legal case filed over the demolition of shantytowns. While he could not reveal what that strategy entailed, the AG says the government is still in discussions with the complainants and believes that the matter will be resolved amicably.
The case will now and henceforth be managed and proceeded with by the Office of the Attorney General. The government position will be resolutely and defended as to every single point raised in the application for judicial review, and we will await the guidance of the court. We are not afraid to stand before the seat of justice and to plead our case to the best of our ability on every single point alleged against the government.
Meantime, Chairman of the Shantytowns Task Force Committee, Dion Folk, says the Shantytown Task Force is quite active in the Family Islands. In fact, he says a team will be heading to Abaco to conduct a survey in a small community there over the weekend.
We're going to have a meeting in Marsh Harbor on Saturday coming to announce the next phase of what we're doing in Abaco, which is to continue our consultative meetings and also to explore alternate housing arrangements, which is a big challenge in the Marsh Harbor area. We estimate there may be anywhere from 2,000 to 7,000 residents in the Mud and Pigeon Pea, depending on who you listen to. The survey will give us the exact number. Will give us the exact number of the residents in terms of the children, in terms of the adults, in terms of who have legal status, and that will give us an idea of exactly what we are faced with in Abaco.
Well, Mr. Folk says he is unaware if any of the residents asked to relocate returned into the shantytown since the injunction was filed, but he did reveal that the task force has removed hundreds of derelict vehicles.
We removed close to 400 derelict vehicles, and we were in the process of having engagement, very good consultative meetings with the Haitian Bahamian leadership in the country, especially here in New Providence. We had Haitian leaders going into the communities, persuading people to leave. And in one community where there were about 40 residents, 40 households, there was only one remaining household left there. And I was told that family was about to leave.
But in the meantime, folks said the Shantytown Task Force was given a mandate by the government and has halted the process here in New Providence until the matter before the courts is heard. He says a court injunction does not apply to shantytowns in the Family Islands. LaDawn Davis, ZNS Network News.
Well, still on news from the courts, defense attorneys in the Frank Smith bribery and extortion trial lodging questions regarding the legitimacy and practices in awarding a contract to a cleaning company as testimony resumed today. Jimenita Swain tells us more.
The Public Hospital Authority's legal advisor, Leslie Isaacs, who is also the secretary of the board, testified through the awarding of a contract to Magic Touch Cleaning for $1.8 million. The documents in question included the tenders process, the committee's evaluations of bidders, and assessments. Isaacs accepted that another company had a lower bid than Magic Touch Cleaning, but was not selected as the company's bid was viewed as unrealistic. The court heard Magic Touch had the second lowest bid. Further, that the subcommittee making the selection was satisfied that the process was subjective, accurate, and transparent. Magic Touch's contract was for cleaning services to the critical care block of the Princess Margaret Hospital, and that the contract was approved by the Minister of Health, Dr. the Honorable Dwayne Sands, without the board having any knowledge of it. The witness was also referred to a letter from former PHA Director Herbert Brown to the acting permanent secretary seeking legal advice on the awarding of the contract, as there were concerns of impropriety with a suggestion that the matter be referred for an internal audit review. Isaacs confirmed that the board had not approved the awarding of the contract. Based on the size of the contract the minister received, the assessment, and not the board, he ultimately approved it. The defense has made it clear its desire to question Health Minister Dr. Sands on the issue. And the cross-examination by defense attorney QC Keith Knight, the witness agreed that there was a breach of procedure in the awarding of the contract. And with the board's concern of impropriety regarding the contract, Knight questioned if the witness had been asked for the report produced by the internal audit review. Isaacs said she could not recall if that report was recirculated to the board in January. Further, she said she knew of no action being taken regarding the internal audit report. Complainant Barbara Hanna was in court but was asked to reappear on Saturday. The case resumes on Wednesday at 10 a.m. before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt. Jimenita Swain, ZNS Network News.
President of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union, Paul Maynard, concerned over a decision to hire foreign employees as engineers at the Bahamas Power and Light Company's Clifton Pier plant. Maynard calls it a slap in the face, saying the company dished out millions in separation exercise packages several months ago.
And you bring the guy in stores and tell my people we got to train them. Listen, man. You see what they're doing is they are tearing this company down that take years and years of blood, sweat, and tears to build. The union ain't gonna allow it to happen. You ain't gonna put Bahamians out of a job, and they can do what they want to me, but I can tell you, as long as I got breath in my body, that ain't happening.
Meanwhile, Minister of Labor, Senator the Honorable Dion Fowlkes, telling reporters this morning that the matter is being addressed.
I spoke to Mr. Paul Maynard, the president of the union, yesterday, and he expressed his deep concern about some non-Bahamian workers at Clifton, at the Clifton site. As you know, that falls under the Ministry of Works, and I had a discussion with my colleague minister, Mr. Bannister, and he is looking into the matter. Also, Mr. Maynard also spoke to Mr. Bannister. So I do not know what the results are of those investigations.
Also making national news, several aragonite studies have been conducted here in the Bahamas to determine its economic value. Environment Minister the Honorable Ramal Ferreira talks about a research exercise being conducted.
I think it was about a dozen sites throughout the Bahamas to determine the amount of aragonite throughout the Bahamas and to determine how fast the aragonite is precipitating, because aragonite is a form of calcium carbonate or a source of calcium carbonate that precipitates out of the ocean. So you have studies that, and what those studies determine is that the quantities are vast, but different locations throughout the Bahamas have different precipitation rates or different rates of formation. And those rates of formation vary between 150 years and 2,000 years.
Prime Minister Dr. The Honorable Hubert Minnis will travel to Providenciales, Turks and Caicos Islands on Thursday to meet with officials of the Beaches Resort, a hotel under the Sandals brand. The nation's chief will be accompanied by the Minister of Tourism, the Director of Investments, Permanent Secretary of the Office of the Prime Minister, as well as the Prime Minister's Senior Policy Advisor. According to Press Secretary Anthony Newbold, the delegation will inspect the resort, hoping to bring it here to the Bahamas.
No, this has nothing to do with the Grand Lucan. Yeah, that's separate. They could be looking at Exuma because, you know, they do have, as I said, they made a success of Exuma when the other people who had it couldn't quite cut it, and they went into Exuma and operating quite successfully. But they may be looking at Exuma, but once that visit has concluded, they'll talk about exactly where it is. They can go with that.
But that will mean 2 Sandals brands on one island.
And a business decision that a Sandals will have to make. Again, as I started, they've been pretty successful with whatever it is they've done. And so if they were to decide, listen, let's ask the government to let us go to Exuma, they must feel pretty comfortable that they can make a success of that as well.
Still to come, the national exam results are out. Find out how students performed. And coming up in sports, hear more on the government's position on the IAAF relays. We're just getting started here on the National Report. We'll see you on the next side of the break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Shell, fueling journeys that matter. Summer promotion.
Get ready. Commonwealth Bank wants to make this your best summer ever. Get the loan you need at a special discount this summer only. Cash for your best vacation, best laughs, best memories. And want to know the best part? You could win a trip for 4. So don't wait. The discount ends soon. Talk to us today about your best summer ever loan. Approval is fast and easy. Conditions apply.
When school ends, BTC summerfication begins. That means freedom to switch it up and break a few rules.
I have flying over season. When she touch down, she not stop call me. And I nothing for me breed, girl. Me want no cute like a Bob Marley. Me fix them.
Freedom to mix and, of course, mingle. Freedom to go wild and take the fun to a whole new level. Join the BTC Summerfication for exclusive rewards, cool prizes, and more.
Okay.
BTC, the bigger, better network.
Guys, come on. It's time to go. We had a deal, man.
Mom Genius.
On Tuesdays, get 9 delicious pieces of chicken for just $11.50 plus VAT. KFC, made for moms who know how to solve everything, even though it seems it can't be done.
Home is more than where the heart is. Home is where the children feel safe. A place where family comes first. Come home today with a BOB residential mortgage. Enjoy attractive rates with up to 25 years to repay. Or use the equity in your home to fund home improvements or other worthwhile needs. Isn't it time you came home to a place of your own? Talk with us today. BOB, your bank of solutions.
This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
In news from the Family Islands, Chief Counselor for Rum Cay, Craig Gator, hoping that more investment can come to that southern island. In addition to that, he's hoping that construction of the dock in Rum Cay can be completed soon. A contract was issued by the previous administration to build a new dock, but that has yet to be completed. Gator says it's a huge problem with serious consequences.
It started, it's not completed, and what we still have to continue doing is being hoisted by a crane. You know, that's real detrimental to everyone, you know, and we got to avoid having a disaster. You know, that's a major concern for everyone here on Rum Cay. You know, a lot of people don't want to come to Rum Cay based on that. If you have to be hoisted on the crane, it's real scary because I went on it myself just to experience it, and I'm still shaking just thinking about it.
Crossing over now to news from education tonight, the results are in for the national examinations, and it shows improvements in the areas of English language, general science, social studies, Spanish, and health science in the Bahamas Junior Certificate examinations. Education officials say the grades continue to range from A to E in the BGCSE exams, which are better than anticipated. The grades A through C decreased slightly, and the highest percentage of grades awarded continues to be at grade C. According to the Ministry of Education, there are increases in several subjects, including BJC Math, which could have been a direct influence on the number of students meeting the requirement for the Bahamas High School diploma. Yesterday, students and teachers in the public school system returned to the classrooms, and over in North Andros, the Member of Parliament visited a number of schools to greet those students. Here's Kelsey Johnson.
Some 150 students, along with parents and faculty, sat attentively as Carlton Boleg, Member of Parliament for the area, reminisced on his early years as a student at the Huntley Christie High School in Nicholstown, Andros. He also commended them on their BJCs and BGCSE examination results while encouraging them to dream big.
I came from the Huntley Christie High School, so I know what they're capable of doing. If they could bring forward members of parliament, neurologists, and even some of you might not know it, but some of the best accountants and architects are from here also. The important thing is that it is time for you to widen your mindset. Press forward to be one of the most successful students in your grade.
Next stop was the Low Sound Primary School, which is being relocated as a brand new state-of-the-art school under construction. The 100 smartly dressed students were happy to see their Member of Parliament, who visited each class and congratulated them all on their GLAD examination results.
I know you're excited. I know that you're going to do the best that you can. This is a new year for you, and one thing I want you to always remember, you are here. You're nation builders. You have dreams that you want to become. So continue to do your best in school. Keep those GPAs up.
After a brief pep talk to the students and faculty, Boleg journeyed approximately 15 miles west of the main Queens Highway to what is perhaps one of the oldest settlements in the Bahamas. You guessed it, Red Bay Andros, which was settled by Seminole Indians from Florida. The ride, however, was not a smooth one, as the road leading to the small village has been in a state of disrepair for many years. We eventually arrived in the small settlement, and sure enough, residents were quick to shout out, "I hope you all come to fix the road." Upon arrival at the Bertram Newton Primary School, Boleg was greeted by the school principal, Kim Curtis. Boleg addressed the students and presented the school with 3 brand new computers.
I'm very, very happy because all of you look so smart. You look like you're ready to get it all done, get these GPAs up to where they need to be.
The 2018-2019 academic year seems to have gotten off to a great start in North Andros and the Berry Islands. Reporting for the ZNS News Network from the Big Yard, I'm Kelsey Johnson.
Well, our LaDawn Davis went to the Central District of New Providence on the first day of the new school year to find out how operations there transpired.
Smartly adorned in their uniforms and backpacks over their shoulders, some of the nearly 600 students with their parents in tow piled onto the campus of the Palmdale Primary School on day 1, hoping to get better academic results this new school term. A few parents we spoke to while walking their kids to the classroom talked about their expectations this school year.
He did very well in preschool, and I hope that he keeps that trend and do even better at Palmdale Primary. They have good teachers, good staff, it's a good facility, and it's close to home.
Well, I told him bring home 1 or 2, that's it, top place. He wants to do Spanish,
and he's very good at arithmetic. And so we're looking at the other electives. You know, his basic math and English is on par. So his other electives is what I'm going to be looking at.
Principal Phyllis Johnson says she is excited to impart knowledge and wisdom into the minds of the nation's young people.
Excited and ready to receive our students. As you can see, when you look around the campus, it's clean, the classrooms are ready, the children are bright, and they're excited. We're also excited about this academic year because, as you can, school exists for teaching and learning, and we're definitely going to be focused, we're going to be driven, and we're going to be determined to achieve all of our goals this year.
And even though the more than 300 plus students here at St. Thomas More started school 2 weeks ago, Principal Renee Mortimer gave us an update on the school's plans.
We want to make sure we encompass our parents, more involvement with our PTA. We want to make sure that everyone is working together, teamwork, that's our first character trait, that everyone is working together, that we are participating and we're involving each other, working together. And so we're very excited about that. We want to make sure that we work on our GLAD goals and increase our writing and reading comprehension.
Then we headed over to C.R. Walker Senior High School, and while there, we caught up with the wife of the Prime Minister and former educator Patricia Minnis, who encouraged the students to continue to dream big.
As I walked through the crowd, I wanted them to know it's just not words, but we have Bahamians who are at NASA, who are astronauts, and so they can be anything they want to be. I told them that if you have a friend who's not going where you want to go, you have to leave them. You have to move on. And then finally that, you can get wisdom. They have to learn to just pray, ask God for wisdom, which comes with knowledge and understanding.
Overall, the outlook for the new academic year in the Central District of New Providence looks bright. LaDon Davis, ZNS Network News.
Opposition leader Philip Davis addressing what he called challenges faced with the completion of repairs to public schools. He said although students returned for the first day of a new school year yesterday, work at some institutions are still being carried out. His comments came during a press conference today at the party's Farrington Road headquarters.
On the opening of schools, there's a big difference between opening the schools and the readiness of schools to receive students on a designated opening day. We know that $6 million was initially requested for summer repairs, but only half that amount was made available. This raises the issue of shortcuts. Additionally, contractor mobilization was generally late across the board.
Well, Press Secretary Anthony Newbold said today that the schools were ready for the first day of the new school year, and despite minor construction, the work is not being done on a level to disrupt classes or put students at risk.
Eva Hilton, Low Sound, Staniel Key, Holmes's Rock, still the same. The other schools are open. Some work ongoing again, A.F. Adley, I think C.I. Gibson, but the schools are open. There's no construction to the point where students would be in the areas where that construction is going on, and all safety precautions are in place to ensure that nobody's certainly the students are not affected by what's going on with that construction.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Crystal Darling. 50 students who took part in an all-expense-paid information and communication technology program in Grand Bahama graduated last week. The certification was a collaborative program between the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute and the government of the Bahamas. Minister of State for Grand Bahama addressed the graduation ceremony at the Pelican Bay Resort, saying that it is critical for young persons to take advantage of the opportunity for the technical development of Grand Bahama. First Caribbean International Bank, or CIBC, opened their New Bahama branch yesterday. The branch is exclusively for the 5,000 hotel employees and offers a number of services to them, including platinum and retail loans, account opening, online banking, and more. Officials say that their new installments are to create an ease of banking for customers, reducing the need for an extended face-to-face banking service that usually takes time. At the beginning of this year, Amazon was only worth $580 billion. Now the e-commerce and cloud computing company is worth $1 trillion, joining Apple in the Standard & Poor's 500. Together, the companies make up 8% of the stock market index value. Amazon's revenue projections are 24% per year up to the year 2020. This has been your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Crystal Darling.
We start with a yes, but when life takes unexpected turns, you can still say yes to more. The Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card gives you points with every purchase that you can use to travel anywhere. Fly on any airline, anywhere, at any time, with no blackout dates. Plus, with just 20,000 Scotia points, you can say yes to destinations. With Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card, it's easier to say yes to everything. Apply today.
Exhale, exhale. Now you're home. You can have your peace of mind. Oh, it's family time. We pay attention to the smallest detail. Safety and security. We deliver luxury. Serenity. Welcome.
We've all got plans for our golden years. Unfortunately for many, this may just be wishful thinking. To generate an annual income in retirement of $70,000 for 20 years at a rate of return of 5%, with inflation running at 3%, requires more than $1.1 million. So how do you save that much money? Many companies provide a group pension plan to help their employees by deducting an amount each month from their pay to contribute to the plan. Personal Pension Plan, or PPP, is similar to a group plan, but offered only to individuals. These plans offer many of the same benefits and features. Contact us for more information on pensions.
Little Generals on East Street South is well known for the best quality and lowest prices on all your grocery and houseware needs. Little Generals has a large selection of meats, produce, dairy items, water and juices, all your favorite snacks, housewares, vegan products, gourmet items, and health supplements. Anything you can think of, it's all sold right here at Little Generals. Little Generals also provides the best customer service, making you want to come back again and again. So visit Little Generals today on East Street South. Call 325-5798.
Thanks so much for staying with us. In news from the Crime Beat, investigations continue into a homicide this morning, which left a family grieving the loss of a loved one. Loud screams could be heard as officers conducted their probe into the death of a male resident. Officer in charge of the Central Detective Unit, Chief Superintendent Solomon Cash, telling the media what officers met when they arrived at the scene.
Sometime around 6 a.m. this morning, police received reports of an apparent body which was located here at Plantel Street, slumped over in a vehicle that was parked on the southern side of the street. Officers arrived on the scene and they confirmed these reports. EMS personnel were called in who examined the body and pronounced the deceased here at this location.
With no motive, police are appealing to anyone with information on this incident to contact them immediately. However, Chief Superintendent Cash did confirm that the man was shot multiple times in the upper body. He also revealed what officers do know about the deceased at this point in their investigation.
We can only say from our preliminary investigation that the male appeared to be in his early 60s. We are hearing that he may reside in this area. We are hearing that he's of Haitian descent, but of course we cannot say what his nationality is at this time. It's too early in the investigation for us to determine whether or not the motive may have been a robbery, but we can tell you that the body was riddled with a gunshot.
Member of Parliament for Bain and Grantstown, Travis Robinson, has been nominated for this year's One Young World Politician Award. It's a charity that was established in 2009 and it's based in the United Kingdom. 5 politicians between the ages of 18 and 35 will be selected this year based on the impact they've been making in their communities. Winners will be labeled as ambassadors, join the network, and work independently to empower young people in their communities. We spoke with Robinson today about the importance of the involvement of young people in the country's decision-making process.
It is important always to have young persons like myself and the many others to have a seat at the decision-making table, to be able to represent that segment or that group of young persons in our country. I think when we have a collective of the young, the middle, and the elder generation all at the table, we get a collective feedback or understanding of what the entire country needs as a whole to be able to make decisions that will not just impact one grouping of individuals, but to ensure that young persons as well are benefiting from the decisions we make as a government, as a country, and certainly on a large scale around the world.
Robinson also discussed true representation.
Because when you think about community and member of parliament, your first obligation is to the people who have elected you or called you to serve or represent them in the House of Assembly. Change don't happen more or less on the outskirts. It happens within the community. And the important reason why I continue to stay embedded is because that's how you stay in touch with what the concerns are, so that when you go to Parliament or other decision-making tables, you know exactly of what you're speaking and you know what to advocate for.
Well, there's so more to come. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, your news leader.
We've all got plans for our golden years. Unfortunately for many, this may just be wishful thinking. To generate an annual income in retirement of $70,000 for 20 years at a rate of return of 5%, with inflation running at 3%, requires more than $1.1 million. So how do you save that much money? Many companies provide a group pension plan to help their employees by deducting an amount each month from their pay to contribute to the plan. Personal Pension Plan, or PPP, is similar to a group plan, but offered only to individuals. These plans offer many of the same benefits and features. Contact us for more information on pensions.
G&M Appliances on Robinson Road has all your air conditioning needs this summer, like the Comfort Star 9000 and 12,000 BTU 13 SEER for just $399. Or how about the Comfort Star 18,000 BTU just $599? Or how about the Comfort Star 24,000 or 36,000 at the lowest prices possible? We also carry a large selection of air conditioning parts such as fans, compressors, filters, capacitors, or any part you may need. So, call today at 328-2083. We're located on Robinson Road.
Free, reliable, anytime, anywhere, and instant. That's the benefits of using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Pay bills, check account balances, transfer funds, and more. Enjoy the freedom of banking on your own terms. Why wait in line? Save time. Do your banking using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean to find out more.
Shell is taking you on an exciting journey with its summer promotion. Now through September 14th, enter for your chance to win a brand new 2018 Toyota Yaris. Just make a minimum purchase of $20 worth of fuel from any Shell service station in Nassau. Answer the skill question on the entry form and submit. The grand prize will be drawn on September 14th. Other weekly prizes include free fuel vouchers and VIP packages to see Jay-Z and Beyonce live in concert August 31st at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. For more info, visit their Facebook page at Sunoil Bahamas.
At Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center, we provide imaging services to meet all your family's needs. Same goes for imaging at Grosvenor. We're the imaging experts. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiology specialist can consult your doctor and conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Results are ready within 24 hours. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
It's time now for a check on the weather in your part of the Bahamas. Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean joins us in the Weather Center with the latest temperatures. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Altaways. Right now, we're going to take a look at temperatures around the Family Violence, and they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 86 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Tulkey, Abaco at 86, Marshall, Abaco 88 degrees, 84 in the Berry Islands, 83 in Allenstown, Bimini. In Harbor Island, 84, 86 degrees here in the capital. Fresh Creek, Central Andros at 84, 84 also in Camps Bay, South Andros. Stanley Key in Exuma Chain, 84. Rock Sandy Luther, 83. Also Allenstown, Cat Island reporting 83 degrees. And as we take you a little further south, San Salvador and Rum Key at 83, in Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Maguana, Acklands, and Ragged Island, all at 83 degrees. Turks and Caicos Islands at 82 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Center. For all areas tonight, you can expect easterly winds around 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet over the ocean. The low tide takes place at 8:05, and you'll have another high tide at 2:36 in the afternoon. And as we take you into the northwest Bahamas on Wednesday, the winds become more easterly. They fall off to 10 to 15 knots, wave heights reducing 2 to 4 feet. Low tide 9:11 in the morning. High tide will take place at 3:41 in the afternoon. And for the central and southeastern islands on Wednesday, easterly winds 15 to 20 knots. So caution flags remain in place through tomorrow. Wave heights at 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. So we're asking small craft to exercise caution. And then as we take you into Thursday for the northwestern islands, once again, those winds will be easterly at 10 to 15 knots, and your wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Tide-wise, it's going to be low at 10:17 in the morning, high tide at 4:42 in the afternoon. In the central and southeastern islands on Thursday, the winds rotate clockwise, becoming southeast, also falling off in speed, so we'll drop the caution flags. The winds go down 10 to 15 knots, the wave height subsiding 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. And that's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your travel forecast, and your travel forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Last night you gone to a party, come back with a hickey, you say mosquito do that. Conchita, that ain't no mosquito. It was something bigger, girl, like smell a rat. Something just ain't right. That ain't no mosquito bite. Something just ain't right.
And that's going to do it for your travel forecast, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is coming up in about 25 minutes.
Welcome to Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Fireworks are a favorite way to enjoy summer festivities. Many people also love to shoot off their own, but shooting them off is a risky activity. Fireworks can cause serious burns and injuries, even death. It is extremely important that we do everything we can to deal with fireworks safely. Follow the following tips to keep you and your loved ones safe when fireworks are present. Never give fireworks to children. This includes sparklers. Sparklers burn to a temperature around 2,000 degrees. That's hot enough to melt metal. They can easily burn and injure a child. Always have a responsible adult supervising fireworks activities. Light fireworks in a clear outdoor area away from trees, buildings, or cars. Wear safety glasses or protective eyewear when shooting fireworks. Don't carry fireworks in your pocket. The friction could set them off. Don't light fireworks in containers, especially metal or glass ones. Stand far away from other people when lighting a firework. They can backfire or go in the wrong direction. Don't lean over a firework while you're lighting it. Reach out away from your body to light it. Light one firework at a time. Move quickly back to a safe distance right away. Never point or throw fireworks at other people. Keep a bucket of water or a garden hose nearby in case there's a fire or other mishap. Never relight a dud firework that doesn't go off. Douse it in water and throw it in the trash. After fireworks are done burning, douse them in water. Dispose of them in a metal trash can to prevent a trash fire. This has been Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Live your best life by living well.
Move forward, Bahamas, and build high into the sky. Move upward and colorize those new walls. Move onward and build a garden to last a lifetime. Move together and settle into that new home. There's a lot of places you can do it for yourself, but there's one place to do it right. Builders Mall. We know exactly what model you live by, and even the pros know building is just a part of what we do. So move forward, Bahamas, And remember, you can find it all at Builders Mall.
Whether you want to get going in a new car, to relax at home while you pay bills on your mobile banking app, to get the best rewards with your credit card, or to get a sure start on your little one's future. Whether you want a quick response on your loan, or just a range of services that keep your business running smoothly, you want banking that fits your life. CIBC First Caribbean, banking that fits your life.
Every island and every key. Keep in touch with everybody. It's BTC every day. Every day.
Just in time for back to school, here we are with another exciting announcement. The Ministry of Education calls it a red letter day, a signing between BTC and the Ministry of Education in an initiative that the Minister of Education, Jeff Lloyd, says will not only revolutionize education in the Bahamas, but it will also place the public education system in this country in step with the rest of the world.
We are very happy that the digital revolution in education begins today with this initiative with ourselves and our strategic partner, BTC.
We're upgrading now, if you would say, from a Volkswagen to a Rolls-Royce. And teachers and students are excited to be on the cutting edge of technology. No longer will we have to wait for downloads and uploads, because now we will have the fastest speed that's available to man.
As a testament to this 5-year contract and to stimulate the ministry's e-learning initiatives, Minister Lloyd, BTC is proud to announce that we will also provide 2,500 tablets for teachers, primary school students, and preschoolers.
The rollout of fiber technology in our nation's public schools is both an exciting and ambitious undertaking, but it is a task that BTC officials say they are more than willing to meet. I'm Corval Piper, and we'll see you next BTC Connection.
Every island and every key. Keep in touch with everybody. It's BTC every day. Every day.
Life is full of choices. Some are tough, while others, like shopping for weekly specials at Super Value and quality supermarkets, are very, very easy. Snack Pack Juicy Gels or Puddings 4-pack $1.79. Danish spare ribs $2.49 per pound. Lay's chips 1-ounce bags $2 for 99 cents. Mart's apple juice 11.5-ounce can 69 cents. Gala apples 4 for 99 cents. Armour lunch makers 2.6-ounce size $2 for $3. The obvious choice for savings is Super Value and quality supermarkets.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. Our men's national soccer team scheduled to leave town tomorrow. They are getting ready to start play in the newly formed Nations League on Friday.
We've got 4 games coming up. First one is Belize away. It's going to be a tough test, an away game. So they've been working hard, fitness-wise, technically and tactically, to be able to put this team together and do well over in Belize. Over the next 4 years, they're going to be playing 16 games, okay? And the whole point about that is it gives them more exposure in the game itself to play the game. And as a result, we are only going to get better. And that's where we are at the moment. We need to get better, A, as a nation, and B, our expectation levels from these young players has to improve as well. They have to understand what they need to do. The clubs also have to take on some responsibility to understand that now we've got to start grooming players to be able to play at a higher level. They've got to be able to play faster, the speed of play has to be quicker, their first touches have to be better, and as a result of that, once all that comes together, then our whole unit and our whole Bahamian team will be able to become at the proper level we're at.
It's been a few months now since the government of the Bahamas pulled out of hosting the 2019 World Relays. There has been some interest from about 4 countries to host the event, but still no official announcement from the IAAF. The new Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Lanisha Rolle, gave her take on the matter.
We are still very, very supportive of the IAAF. We are very, very supportive of our region and all we're doing in the area of sports. But as you know, the government would have indicated, we want to sort of cut back a little so that we can get ourselves financially in order, and that's important to secure our future and the sustainability of what we offer our Bahamian people.
Believe it or not, the 2020 Tokyo Olympics are not that far away, and as Kelsey Johnson tells us, one Bahamian is looking to make history in the sport of judo.
Her smile said it all.
I'm like 4 points away right now.
Cynthia Ramming can tumble her way into the history book by pinning an Olympic qualification for the 2020 Olympic Games to be held in Tokyo. If things turned out the way Ramming is hoping it does, she will be the first Bahamian, a female, to do so.
I have until May 25th of 2020 to qualify, and it's done off a point system, so I have to make sure to go to enough competitions to beat the people in my area.
So what kind of competitions do you have to go to gain the points, and how do you get points?
Okay, so when you have to go to specifically Olympic qualifying events, IJF is the title, I guess. There's Opens, which is the lowest. Then there's Grand Prix, Grand Slams, World Championships, and then Masters, and all these have different point systems, so because they're harder competitions to win. So when you get points, the way that you could qualify for the Olympics is either being in the top 18 or you be in the top 10 of your region. And we're in the PJC, which is pretty much all the western side of the world. So as long as I'm in the top 10, right now I'm 11, so very close, but I'm not there yet.
According to the International Judo Federation World Ranking List, Ramming has accumulated 49 points. She shot up the ranking ladder, moving up 41 spots. Her two major competitions this year were the Central American and Caribbean Games in July and the Pan American Open, where she finished 5th.
With the CAC Games, I believe that for that particular moment, I felt a lot of pressure. So it's kind of one of those things where I wasn't there mentally in the right spot. I had brought myself prepared for it too much in a way, and then kind of faltered when it came down to the competition. And like I said, it could go up to 4 minutes, but you could really be thrown within the first second, which didn't happen thankfully in the CAC Games. But it just goes to show that anything really can happen in a judo match, and if you're not focused there 100%, then it'll kind of go the wrong way.
And if you think Ramming will only be going after the 4 points, well,
I'm going to pick up more than that, but the next competition most likely will be in Scotland that I'll go to, but they haven't put out the calendar yet for the new year, so we'll see.
Kelsey Johnson, ZNS Total Sports.
Vincent Strawn is still the president of the Amateur Boxing Federation of the Bahamas. After AIBA ordered the previous elections of April null and void, he was returned as president on Saturday, beating out Akina Johnson 5-2.
I felt confident that we would have won, and as I felt it has been proven. The fact is that the previous election, we knew everything was above board, even though persons indicated that there was some foul, but there was nothing foul about it, because the same delegates that was approved by AIBA are the delegates that voted in this election. So there was nothing amiss. Everything was just the way it should have been.
Also winning a seat on the new board was Secretary General Pat Strawn.
We need to come together. The elections are over. We need to forget about, put our differences aside. It's not about me or Welly or Vincent. It's about moving the amateur boxing program forward. You have some persons in amateur boxing. It's about me. It's not about me. It's about providing the avenues for the younger fighters to build the amateur boxing program so that 4 years from now, when Mr. Strawn term has ended, he can look back and say, look, we have done an excellent job of moving the program forward.
With the new school year now underway, the sporting schedule will soon get going, and sports officer in the Ministry of Education, Evan Wisdom, has some good news for those in the government school ranks.
We want to propose to government an additional 2 sports. That is tennis, which is non-intrusive. We don't have, it's not a great amount of athletes, and so we don't feel that would cause hardship on the government, and swimming. I think swimming will be the most exciting, one of the most exciting ones when we look at our performance over the summer at individual games. We have to get more involved in swimming. Now, the biggest cry with regards to swimming has been that when this was attempted before, a number of the schools that were invited got embarrassed. But what we also believe on the next hand is you cannot disincentivize those children that are swimming. There are hundreds, I would say, of children in government schools that swim, and so we have to incentivize them as well as the private schools throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas through a national championship pilot. See how that works out, and I believe, similar to all of the other sports, it'll just grow and grow.
While they try to get swimming and tennis into the curriculum, baseball is already there, but Wisdom believes it's not where it needs to be just yet.
I understand the problem with regards to that, and its facility size. We cannot mandate or ask somebody to do something and then don't provide them with the funding in order to do that, or even if we go 50-50, but those fields need expansions, those fences need to go back if we're going to play baseball, and so it's something that we're going to sit down together, all of the associations, and see what we can do in terms of facilitating everybody being on the same schedule. I think it's possible, but we also have to be reminded of our limitations, and most of them end up being financial.
CI Gibson coach Kevin K.J. Johnson is in full agreement with Wisdom about the need for boys to play more baseball, and he used an experience from this summer as a prime example.
I talked to a guy from who been to Puerto Rico, and they just missed out on going to the Little League World Series. Okay, he said our kids were much bigger, much stronger, faster, but that's what beat us. Games. They didn't have enough games. They didn't have enough experience of playing the game of baseball, so we fall short. And fatigue kept in because it wasn't enough games, and it went into 6 and 7 innings, and we need to play more games, and that's where we're going to fall short.
Last night, we heard from the coaches during the media day at the University of the Bahamas. Tonight, we hear from some of the team captains. Ramon Dames will be the leader for the men's basketball team, while Olivia Culmer will set the pace for women's volleyball.
I'm a vocal player, so every time I'm in the game, I like to tell my guys like where they need to go, and which plays I listen to coach. When coach tells me to carry out a play, I'm there. So if I'm not on the court, I from watching it from off the court, I could see like guys start to become, a little hesitant on what to do. So I give them a lot of motivational, talks, and just tell them to hang in there.
I really want us to continue to be as one, on and off the court especially, and I want to continue to motivate the ladies after every play, during practices, and during our matches, because you sometimes you look at your teammates and you see that they may be down after a play, but it's going to be my job to keep their spirits up, because just after one play, you can't just stop the game. The match goes to 25. You have to continue to keep your head up for every play so that we can rise above any faults that we may have.
UB also competing this year in men's soccer and judo. Julio Jemison and Desmondo Boodle spoke about what it means to be a Mingo.
Be a Mingo is more than a name. It's more than a logo. It's a way of life. I feel like being a Mingo should be an honor. I feel a pride when I could say I'm Julio Jemison, a Mingo, the men's soccer team captain.
I think many of us athletes forget that we're student athletes, so for me being a Mingo also means possessing good qualities of a student, such as being punctual, showing up to class, and studying, being at the top of your class.
The Bahamas Flag Football League getting ready for its 10th annual preseason tournament in October. The Spartans are the defending champions in the ladies division.
This is technically our first week, and so the conditioning is going pretty good. Hey, I'm just throwing the ball. You see what's going on with me, right? So they're working pretty hard so far, trying to get our numbers up a little more and get a little bit more of them involved in the cardio and football footworks, catching, and doing more of the drills. So we need to get prepared for the tournament.
And that will do it for sports. Stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight comes back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubis, it's just better.
Life happens, and when it does, FG Insurance Agents and Brokers is here. We help you protect the assets you've worked hard to attain. We offer home, auto, marine, commercial, and liability insurance. Don't hesitate to protect what matters with FG Insurance Agents and Brokers. Visit us and speak to your agent today, or call us at 396-1490 in Nassau or 688-1500 in Freeport.
Robin Hood flour is bigger and better. When you bake with Robin Hood, you're baking with the best. And you get more for your money. Next time you shop at the food store, stop and compare. Robin Hood flour gives you more for your money. Go with the flour that's bigger and better. Robin Hood flour. Find it at your favorite food store.
Clean clothes for the family, uniforms for the baby, suit for mommy and daddy. We wash the presents and clean the suit. If you wanna look fly and you wanna look clean, if you wanna look fresh, better than all the rest. Bring on your church clothes and all your work clothes. Bring on your children clothes. Super wash.
Breaking news, live, weather, sports, and entertainment. Wake up with the Morning Edition. Weekdays, 7 a.m., right here on the ZNS Television Network.
What amazing idea to go into the communities and into our world and into our country and into the homes of people and into the lives of outstanding and extraordinary people all over the country. I think that telling those stories again helps us to connect to the notion of okay, how can I live a better life? How can I be better? This is how this person achieved it. Where can I find common ground so that my life can match up as well? And so Ordinary People is an amazing, amazing concept, and I'm excited to be a part of the Ordinary People family.
Everybody, are you on TV? Look, are you on TV? Mom, guess what it is? That's me. Bartend, do you see me? Are you on television? I gotta tell my girlfriend I'm on television.
Hello?
Babe, turn your television to ZNS. Quick, are you on television?
I don't have a TV in here.
We have Wi-Fi though.
We have Wi-Fi.
That's fine. They upgrade now. You can watch it live from your phone. You just have to download the app.
All right, hold on.
Go to the App Store, type in ZNS, download the app, and you'll be able to watch ZNS straight from your phone. Hurry up and start over again.
Get your news and more anytime, anywhere with the new ZNS app. Stay connected from around the globe with our live stream news updates, all in the palm of your hand. You can also listen to the ZNS Radio Network for your favorite music. Go into your Apple or Google Play Store and download the ZNS app today.
Miss I's a star now. I still gotta pay.
Time now for weather.
In
now a final look at what a very busy tropics tonight. We have a very strong tropical wave which came off the African coast right now. It's a couple hundred miles to the south of the Cape Verde Islands, and it's moving towards the west. Chances of this developing very, very strong. It has about a 40% chance of developing in the short term. And over the next 5 days, we're looking at about 90% chance of this becoming a named storm sometime over the weekend. So we'll keep our eyes on that very strong tropical wave just to the south of the Cape Verde Islands. And just ahead of that, we have Hurricane Florence, which intensified earlier this afternoon. It's now packing winds of about 85 miles per hour. Forward movement is toward the west, northwest at around 15 miles per hour, maximum sustained winds, as we told you, at 85 miles per hour, and we expect a slight intensification as it continues to move. But look here, it's going to once again become a tropical storm. We have some hostile atmospheric conditions taking place in the upper level, and that will lead to a reduction in those sustained winds. But once it gets from underneath those hostile winds, by Sunday thereabout, we can see it rebound to hurricane status again. And then as we move into the Gulf of Mexico, Tropical Storm Gordon is taking aim now at Louisiana and Alabama. It's already packing a heavy rainfalls over that area. Will make landfall, within the next couple of hours, but we don't expect it to become a hurricane before it makes landfall. But once it gets inland, you can expect a rapid deterioration of this system. But heavy rains will be the main feature. We're looking at rainfalls anywhere between 4 and 8 inches with some isolated maximums around 12 inches. So flooding will be a very major issue as this system moves inland later on tonight. Satellite pictures are showing some feeder bands over the extreme western Bahamas, mainly in the vicinity of Bimini. So Bimini can get 1 or 2 showers. Even western Grand Bahama could get a couple of showers tonight. But all of those feeder bands will be working their way towards the west as Gordon continues to pull away very rapidly towards the northwest at about 12 miles per hour. High pressure remains in control of our weather over the remainder of Bahamas, so you will see those winds relaxing tomorrow. They will come down to reasonable level, and reasonable levels remain about 10 to 15 knots. The wave height subsiding to about 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Your forecast for tonight, partly cloudy with a shower or 2 in spots later on tonight. Low temperature getting down to 78 degrees. And tomorrow, we're looking at partial sunshine. There will be some brief showers developing, particularly in the afternoon hours. High temperature around 88 degrees tomorrow, and your heat index is going to be somewhere around 99 degrees. The extended weather forecast over the next 7 days, a few isolated showers right into Friday. Things will dry out quite nicely on Saturday, and as we head into the early part of next week, we look for an abundance of sunshine and keeping those temperatures once again during the daytime just slightly below seasonal levels.
Thanks so much, Basil. Well, before we end, we want to wish a very happy birthday to Eloise Hume. She's the mother of our colleague, Dejon Brown. We also want to say happy birthday to Whitfield Ching. He's the brother of our colleague, Christoph Ching. We hope both of you had a wonderful birthday. Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight. On behalf of the teams here in Nassau and over in Freeport, thanks so much for tuning in. We hope to see you right back here tomorrow.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.